Yo, 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 what is up, Trinity students? So excited to have you with us tonight. We are pumped for our online experience. Listen, do me a favor, share this link with your friends or whatever the case may be. We want to connect with your circle and let your circle be our circle. We're so excited about what God is going to do in our online worship experience. We got great worship, great word, and it's just going to be a really good time. Welcome to our Vive online experience. If this is your very first time here, welcome. We're glad you're here. Text the word free gift to 94090. We want to put a gift in your hand just as a token of our thanks for you hanging out with us on tonight. It's going to be great, and you're going to be grateful that you hung out with us. Listen, we're getting ready. I don't know about you guys, but at some point in the very near future, we're gearing up to reopen and kind of meet in person. And so what we want to do to kind of prepare for that is to get our worship elements prepared and ready. Listen, if you have participated in Vive worship in the past, then you don't have to do this. We already have your information. But if this is something new to you and you've not participated, but you got a gift, you got a talent that you want to share, here's what we want you to do. Text the word student worship to 94090, and we will be in touch with you. There's a link that will be sent to you. Fill that out, and then we'll get in touch with you for your next steps so that you can lay it all out for Jesus. We're so excited about what God is going to do, and the fact that in the very near future, we don't know exactly when, but we know that that's coming, and we're getting ready and geared up for that time. Well, listen, we have a fun and exciting game. It's called 7-Eleven. Pastor Trey is going to come and tell us a little more about that. Pastor Trey.
Thank you, Vaughn, and shout out to your shoes. Those things are absolutely amazing. Baller. Hey, we're playing a game called 7-Eleven. It's pretty simple. What we're going to do is we're going to have two contestants. Why don't you guys come on out? They are going to have 11 seconds to get, if I'm going to give them, our live studio audience is giving them a round of applause. They're going to have 11 seconds to name 7 items of a category that you will see on the screen and I will give to them. So you guys are, I'm going to tell you a category and you got 11 seconds to give 7. Make sense? All right, we're all good. We're all on the same page. All right, winner gets something. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll see how it goes. We have Garrett from Hammond. Say hi, Garrett. Hey. You could have just talked into your mic, but it's okay. We have Gavin from also Hammond as well. Say hey. Hi. All right, here we go. 7-Eleven. The first category. We're going to go with Garrett first. All right? Garrett, your first category is school subjects. Go.
Math, science, history, English, art, gym, music.
Barely got it. I got to 10. That was a close one. You sneaky. Okay. All right, Gavin, let's go. Here we go. Your subject is things in a classroom. Go.
Pencil, eraser, stapler, projector, desk, chair. Teacher.
A teacher. Okay, we'll go with it. All right, 1-1. Here we go. Garrett, your thing. School names.
Ed White, Trinity, Stillwell, Eagles View, Bowles, Episcopal, Baldwin, Oakleaf.
I think
that's 7?
Yeah, that's 7.
I didn't keep count.
All right, you're good. All right. Gavin, get close to your mic.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Gavin.
All right. Here we go. Gavin, your category is extracurricular activities. Go.
Okay. Soccer, football, baseball, softball, volleyball, basketball, and tennis.
Ooh, good. Here we go. All right, it's a barn burner, 2-2. Garrett, your category is teacher names. Go.
Debbie, what Miss West got? Miss Lentz, Coach Hersey, Coach Martin, Mr. Bureau, Mr. Burgess, Miss Belk.
There you go. Dude, you almost called them out by their first name. That would have been a big no-no. All right, Gavin, here we go. Your category is things in a backpack.
Okay. Book, binder, pencil, pen, eraser, calculator, charger.
All right. Charger. I would have never
Charger?
put that on my list when I was in high
I
school.
don't have a charger in my backpack.
You don't have a charger? Well, I guess you could put literally anything in your backpack. No joke. There was a friend of mine in high school who kept a little cage with hermit crabs in it in high school. So literally anything could have gone right there in that category. All right, Garrett, back to you. I think it scores 3-3. Here we go. School mascots, go.
Conqueror, Bulldog, Indians, Redskins, Patriots, Dolphins, Eagles.
Is that 7?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Who's the Eagles?
Eagles View, I think. Are they?
I'm pretty sure they're the Eagles View Warriors.
Oh, Warriors. Oh.
Who are the Dolphins?
Miami.
That's not. Garrett, I'm gonna have to not give you that round.
Okay.
You could have said actually Crystal Springs Elementary School are the Dolphins.
They are the Dolphins.
Yeah, but you didn't know that, so I'm gonna have to take those
Okay.
points away. You didn't.
Okay.
You couldn't give me an Eagles. I think. Are there anybody Paxton Eagles, right?
No, that's true.
But I don't think
Paxton.
it was the Patriots.
Yeah, but you said Eagles. Garrett, I'm gonna have to take that one away from you,
Oh
bud.
my
I'm sorry about that. All right, Gavin, here we go. Your category is band instruments. Go.
Trumpet, saxophone, flute, clarinet, drum, trombone, tuba.
All right.
Man, someone's a band nerd.
Hey, if you play in the band, you are not a nerd out there. Just so we're clear, you take that back, sir. Okay. Actually, if you play in the band, we actually want you and need you. Text
Yes.
Student Worship to 94090. Quick plug. Thank you, tech team, for putting that slide up. All right, here we go. Back to Gavin. Wait, no, you just went. Back to Garrett.
Next to me.
Brand of sneakers. Go.
Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Vans, Converse, Gucci.
11. Sorry, time is up. Garrett. Oh my gosh. What were some other brands that he could have said?
Goodfellas.
Could have said Puma.
Puma. Did you say Skechers?
No.
See, Champion,
Crocs.
Target brand. Shout out.
See, I think of these after.
Crocs.
Crocs. That's his
There
game
you
over
go.
there.
There you go.
Dude, next time. New Balance.
New Balance,
Oasis.
Oasis,
Sorry, the list can just go on and on.
Brooks.
And on. Balenciaga.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Your category is things in a cafeteria. Go.
Candy, hamburger, pizza, hot dog, water, Coke, and
11. Sorry, that is time. All right, is that it? Are we? I think that's it. I think we're done. Congratulations, Gavin. I'll give you a firm handshake. Congratulations. You win. Garrett, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Next
sorry.
time. Next time. Hey, listen, this has been 7 and 11. Hope you've enjoyed it. Again, shout out. He made fun of them earlier. If you play an instrument, text Student Worship to 94090. We need you. We need your talent. Come serve in the church. It will be absolute. If you are a drummer, that is what we are desperate for right now. If you are a drummer, please sign up. Or if you know of a drummer, send them our way. We will be forever grateful for it. Hey, listen. Hey, y'all are good. If you were with us last week, we started a brand new series called Love, Hate, and Pastor Joel's going to bring us an absolutely incredible message tonight. But before we go there, we're going to go into some worship. So why don't you guys enjoy this together?
I've searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise and treasures of faith are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together. And every desire is now satisfied here in your love. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you. There's nothing is better than you. I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. Lord, you've seen them all, and you still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley, and there's not a place your glory and grace
Vive. Good to see all of you tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Pastor Joel here, looking forward to jumping into week 2 of Love, Hate. And I'm going to start off with a question tonight. Here is the question. Have you ever had a friend that has maybe told you something that you needed to hear, but it was a little awkward, it was a little uncomfortable, but what they told you was good for you to hear because it saved you from embarrassment in the future? Have you ever had a friend like that? Do you have a friend like that? Let me give you an example. A couple of years ago, I was on a missions trip with a group of students, and we were in California doing a vacation Bible school. We had a great week. It was so neat to see the students serving Jesus out there in California, making a difference. Well, I had a student pull me aside at the end of the week, wanted to pull me aside and talk to me privately. And I was like, sure, man, what's going on in your life? You know, felt like I was going to have to counsel him. And he said, I want to tell you something, and it's just something private. I said, okay, what is it? He said, all day today, you've had a nose hair sticking out of your nose. It would probably be good if you plucked it. And I was like, really? That's what you wanted to tell me? But then I thought, how many people have I talked to during that day, and no one told me I had a nose hair sticking out? And then I was so thankful for this student that told me something uncomfortable. Why? Because he cared. Because he cared. Y'all know you have friends like that. They're like, hey, yo, dude, you got something in your teeth, or your zipper's down, or don't wear that jacket into the classroom because you didn't cut off the sticker because it's a new jacket. You better pull that off or you're going to get ragged all day because of it. We have friends like that, and we are very thankful for friends like that. But let's look at the other side. The other side is when you know you should say something, but you don't know how you should say it. Have you ever felt like you should really say something to someone else, but you weren't sure how to go about saying it? Now, I'm not talking about you've got something in your teeth, but something deeper. Like you have a friend that's in a relationship that is destructive and it's tearing them apart. You feel like you should speak up and say something about it. It could be a friend that's made some bad decisions and you see the effect it's having on them, and deep down you're like, I need to speak up. Or maybe it could be something even deeper where you know if you speak up about something someone's doing, you know they're going to get in trouble for it. You know they're going to be upset at you for saying something about it. How do we deal with situations like that? Because sometimes in those situations, our default is just to not say anything because we're afraid it may ruin a friendship. We maybe say, well, they're not going to listen anyways, so why should I say anything? Or we're guilty of doing the same thing that they're doing, so we feel like we don't even have the right to say anything. Or maybe we just don't know what to say. Now, I know some of you watching right now are like, Pastor Joel, I never struggle with what to say. I love calling people out on their sin. I love saying exactly what they need to hear. Well, listen, that's not always the best thing either, because what you say and how you say it are very important. And people probably won't listen to you if you say it in the wrong way. So see, we all have been there. We all know what that feels like to not know what to say or how we should say it. Because here's the thing, no one wants to be a hater, right? No one wants to be that friend that comes across as the goody two-shoes because they're calling everyone else out on their stuff. And no one wants to be that way. But maybe the reputation we need is a reputation of love, and we care enough about people in our life to say something. So when it comes to being a friend who looks out for others, how do we make sure we handle it in the right way? You see, last week, Pastor Trey talked about being all about love. But how does that factor into situations like this? When you know you've got someone in your life that's making poor decisions, that's going down a destructive road, how do I love them enough to say something? Because students, here's what culture is going to tell you, and they probably already told you, that whatever someone else is doing, it's their own business. It's their life. They have the right to do what they want to do. It's none of your business. stop judging them. But how do we truly love people if we're not willing to call them out and say, hey, I love you enough to say something because I care about you? Culture is going to give you the opposite side of that. So what I want to do tonight is I want to look at the Apostle Paul. He wrote a number of the books in the New Testament. He wrote a letter to the church in Galatia, and he said some point-blank things to them, some tough love, and I think it's going to help us know how to respond in these types of situations. In fact, in this letter that he's writing, he gets to the end of the letter, and we're going to be in chapter 6 of Galatians. And in chapter 6, if we were to put a theme together for chapter 6, it would be this: the Christian life consists not in pleasing people, but in pleasing Jesus. Now, that's good stuff right there. The Christian life consists not in pleasing people, but in pleasing Jesus. Here's what Paul said in Galatians 6:1. He said, brothers. Now, let's stop there. He's not talking to biological brothers or siblings. When he says that, he's talking to who? Well, brothers and sisters in Christ. So this is written to Christians. So if you're a Christ follower, this is for you. Brothers, if anyone is caught in any transgression or sin, you who are spiritual should restore him in the spirit of gentleness. Keep watch on yourself, lest you too be tempted. Let's look at that word restore. The word restore in this passage actually means to repair or to restore to a good position or a former good position. It's the idea of taking like a broken bone and kind of resetting it. If you've ever broken a bone, they've got to reset it so it will heal. It's a fishing net that has a hole in it that you got to mend. Okay, that's restoring. If you were to visit my house tonight and walk around, you would learn something real quick about me. I love to restore things. I love to take things that are trash and people see as trash and to restore them to their original purpose. If you were to walk into my kitchen, you would see a really nice dishwasher. And you'd be like, man, how much did you pay for that? I would say $40. And you would be like, you're a liar. And I'd say, no, what I did was I found a dishwasher on the side of the road that someone stuck out as trash. I loaded it in the back of my truck, took it to my house, figured out that it was leaking, got on YouTube, ordered a $40 part with a little super glue, bam, restored. Now it is working incredibly. I hope it doesn't break tonight now that I said that. But I love to restore things. There's something so rewarding about that, to take what someone says is trash and in a sense turn it into treasure. Paul is telling us when there are people around us that make mistakes, we shouldn't write them off. We shouldn't just call them out and judge them. We should be willing to restore them with gentleness, all right? You always hear people say this, well, don't call that out in my life. You're just judging me. You say, well, what's the difference between judging and restoring? Judging is I'm assuming a lot of things about you and I'm calling it out, but I'm not helping you. Restoring is I'm going to call it out, but in love, I want to help. I want to be involved. And here's why, students, we do it in gentleness. The end of that verse says this. It says that we need to watch out for ourselves because we too can be tempted. We can fall into the same trap and temptation that anyone else can. And how would we want people to treat us when we fall into that trap? So Paul says to restore. In fact, you could say it this way. A friend who has fallen into sin needs help, not judgment. A friend who's fallen into sin, they need your help. They don't need your judgment. So, if we're going to continue down this path with Paul, he goes on to verse 2, and he gives us a great truth that I'm sure you probably heard. It says this, bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. You say, well, how do I help that friend, or that classmate, that coworker, maybe that relative? If they've fallen and they've taken steps away from God, how can I encourage them? Here it is. I need to carry, that's what bear means, I need to carry their burden. I need to help them. This doesn't mean I'm responsible for their decisions and their poor decisions. No, they're responsible for those. But Jesus says, as a Christian, I need to be willing to bear their burdens. Not just call it out, but to help them. A couple of weeks ago, Pastor Trey, Pastor Vaughn, and myself were down at Trinity Youth Camp. And if those of you, if you've been down there, it's cool to see all the stuff that they're doing. Shout out Mike Bliss and his team. But when we were down there and we're in the tabernacle, we saw a weight set and we saw a weight bench. And Pastor Trey, being his young self, looked at me and says, "Hey, Joel, you think you can lift that over there?" Of course, the weight set's all, I think he planned this. And I told him, I said, "Yeah, I can do it." So I walked over there and I got down, I sat, I think there was like 300 pounds on the bar or something. No, okay, there wasn't, 135. I said, "I can do this." And when I got down there and I was ready to bench press, here's what happened. Trey walked around behind me, and if any of you have ever been working out in the gym, he took the position of spotter. And I was so thankful that he did. Because after about a couple of reps, I got to the if you've ever lifted and bench press, I got to the where you're just pushing as hard as you can. And you know what he did? I was so thankful. He put his arm out and helped me finish the rep. And then Pastor Vaughn got down there and did like 20 reps and blew me away. He just had to prove that he was stronger. But he's older though, so I just want to throw that out there. So I was thankful that Trey was our spotter. Here's what God is asking us to do through this passage. We need to be that spotter. When people fall and they maybe feel shame and hurt, we need to step in and say, "I want to help. I want to spot. I want to step in and help you carry this burden." That's what we're supposed to do. Paul cared deeply for the people of Galatia. That's why he stepped in. He said, "Hey, I'm going to do some spotting here. I want to help you out. I want to speak some truth that you and that we need to hear." You see, as followers of Jesus, we don't just point fingers, we share burdens. As followers of Jesus, we don't just need to point fingers at people and be, the holy sin pointer outer kind of people and just point out at people. No, we need to be willing to say, "I'm not just going to point this out, but in love, I want to carry your burden." Hard conversations aren't easy, but if we don't truly love people, we're going to avoid those conversations. So let love push you into difficult conversations. You say, "Well, Pastor Joel, how does this apply to me?" Let me wrap this up and hopefully put a bow on it for you tonight. How can we apply this truth to our everyday life? And here's the bottom line. Let love be your filter. In fact, if you're in the chat right now, I encourage you to type it out and post it so Reed can see, because Reed's modding the chat right now. He can see a bunch of different, let love be your filter. I want you to write that on a postcard, on a note card. Put it in the mirror in your bathroom. Put it in your car. Make it the lock screen on your phone. Let love be your filter. I'm going to read a couple of words to you, and I want to see if you can guess what these are. You ready? Clarendon, gingham, moon, lark, Reyes, Juno. Anyone in the live chat know what those are? I'll pause and wait for you to type it in. What are they? Instagram filters. That's right. Some of you Instagrammers, you knew what those were. What does a filter do? We know what a filter does. When we add the filter, it changes everything that we see. Everything. So here's what we need to do. Tomorrow when you wake up, let love be your filter. Let it change everything and everyone that you see them not by the things that they've done, not by the ways that they've hurt you or hurt others, but you let love filter the way that you see someone. And if we begin to do that, here's how those filters can apply to our situations. You say, what should a filter of love be applied to? Let me give you 3 things. Here's the first one. Let love be the filter of your involvement. So if you've got a friend, parent, family member, coworker, and you've just seen some things in their life that you really feel the Spirit's telling you just to mention them, to call it out. Here's the question you need to ask yourself. What's the most loving thing that I can do in this situation? Some of the situations, it may be I need to back out and just not say anything and just pray for them. That happens. But there may be other situations where the most loving thing you can do is step up and say, hey, don't go that direction. I've been there. I know where that goes. Or I've seen where that direction take. Don't go there. And if you really feel like love says you need to step in to that situation, here's the next thing you can do. Let love be the filter for your words. So now I need to ask the question, how would I want someone to speak to me if I was in this situation? Again, remember, Paul said, be careful that you could be tempted too, that you could go down that road. So how would you want someone to talk to you? Would you want them to kick you while you're down and make you feel miserable and make you feel like a horrible person? Or would you want them to speak the truth, but speak the truth in love so that you can what? Be restored, that you can be made new. And if you feel like you can do that, here's the last thing I want to challenge you to do. Let love be the filter of your actions and your reactions. So the question you should ask is, how would I want someone to live out their love in my life if I was in that situation? Again, it may be you need to step in and be an accountability partner for that friend that's really struggling, and they need someone to check in on them and ask them how they're doing when it comes to a sinful habit or when it comes to just obedience and following after God. Maybe it's accountability. Maybe you need to be that person that they can call for prayer at any time to help them through whatever situation, pray for wisdom in the situations that they're going through. Or I know this happens a lot. I know Pastor Vaughn, Pastor Trey have experienced this as well, where maybe you have had a friend that comes to you and says, hey, I'm dealing with this, or I've done this, or I'm about to do this, and they always follow it up with, don't tell anybody. And you're wrestling with this, my friends confided in me about this thing that can really hurt them, but they said, don't tell anybody. You know how you let love filter through situations like that? Through God's Spirit, you tell that friend, hey, I love you enough to not keep this a secret. And you may need to take the steps, maybe even tonight, to call a youth pastor, to talk to a small group leader, to talk to your parents and say, hey, so-and-so told me this. I know they told me to keep it a secret, but I love them enough that I've got to say something to someone because they matter to me. Let love filter your actions and the steps that you take. You see, when we let love be our filter, we wind up sharing the burden of those we love. Hey, students, I know this is a difficult topic, but here's what I believe. I believe that we all are going to face this, that some of you are even facing it right now. And I want to encourage you to let love be your filter. Because if we are a student ministry, if we are maybe at people at your school, maybe in your friend groups, if you start to let love be your filter and you seek not to judge and condemn people for their actions, but you choose to love them and love them in a way that can restore them, to make them new again, to find forgiveness and hope, I think it's going to make all the difference. And as was shared last week, you say, well, why do I show that kind of love to people in my life? Well, the only way that we know love is because of what Jesus did for us. 1 John 3:16, by this we know love, that he, Jesus, laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers. You see, that's love, not hate, that's love. And if you've never experienced the love of Jesus, the love that God had to send Jesus to live for us, to die for our sins, and he came back to life for us so that we can be made right with God, here's what I want to encourage you to do. If you've got questions, tonight, right now, I want you to text the word pastor. Text pastor to 94090. If you'll text pastor to 94090, we will follow up with you, talk to you about where you're at spiritually. Or maybe you're in that situation where you need to say something to that friend, but you don't know how to say it. We want to help you. We want to pray with you. We want to encourage you and give you maybe some words and some actions that you can take to let love be your filter this week. Hey, students, let me close in prayer tonight. Dear God, I thank you for your word from Galatians. God, how it's so important that we carry one another's burdens because we need each other. We're not meant to do life alone. I pray that you be with that student that's never experienced your love, that they would experience it tonight, that your Spirit would convict them of where they're at, that they would choose you. God, be with that student that needs to speak up and really feels like they need to stand in the gap and say, stop, don't go that direction, that you'd give them the boldness, that you would have them do it out of love. God, I pray that you continue to work in the lives of our students and our student ministry as we begin to prepare to be back in person. God, that you would help this to be the best school year yet. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Hey, students, thanks so much for joining us tonight on Vive Live. Don't forget to tune in next week. Same time, same place. Pastor Vaughn's going to bring us week 3 of Love, Hate. Hey, let love be your filter this week. Have a great night. See you later.